Whoa, that Beasts of the Mesozoic Lythronax sure is cool, but I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna be a responsible adult and save money. Alright, David Silva, curse you. You've got me again. I wasn't going to buy this one. I liked it. I liked the personality that Lythronax had when I saw the promo images and stuff, but I'm like, it's far from my absolute favorite in the Tyrannosaur series. And then the produced versions of the figure just had to have some of the coolest paint apps and articulation out of the entire line. So here we are. And here is my wallet that is greatly suffering in the corner. You can go cry while you wait for Cyberzoic to become a thing. This thing is so cool. It has instantly shot up from the bottom of my list all the way to the top for the most part for the Tyrannosaur series. The produced versions of this figure are incredible, honestly. Honestly incredible. And being the same body size as the Tyrannus, you know, what's going on outside? Oh, I think it's just a school bus. It's that time of year, folks. But having the Tyrannus and being a little bit disappointed with some of the articulation on that one, I wasn't really thinking about the improvements that this body size was going to have. And as somebody who has the Dryptosaurus as well, I was always planning on getting that one. That one was going to fill that niche for me. And then I saw the in-hand stuff from this when the early stuff came out, and I'm like, I can't live without it. It looks so cool. Not only does this one, I guess we'll dive into colors first of all, because the color scheme on this one wasn't my favorite initially. Like I said, it looked good, but it wasn't close to like an absolute, the absolute best in my humble opinion. But I loved how kind of edgy it looked with like kind of the black mascara around the face with the red eyes, and it also looked very natural as well. It looks like some sort of desert lizard or something. I forget which one this is based off of. I'll put it on screen. It's based off of some lizard or something like that. But on top of that, not only does it have the super edgy looking color scheme, but Lythronax's skull had these two like fangs in the front. If I put it up to the camera here, you can see the fangs hanging down, so it's totally like a gothy vampire dinosaur, and it's so cool. Its face is almost cute in a way, but with the war painty patterns around the eyes and the little fangs, it can't help just looking slightly spooky, and I love it. Just in time for the Halloween season coming up. But yeah, the colors are just an absolute perfect blend of looking natural, but also vibrant and very contrasty and very cool at the same time. And I know I also touched on articulation, so we'll just jump into that already. But the main area of improvement, which I'll show here, is the head. The head is not glued to the back of the neck sleeve like it is on the Tyrannus, thank goodness. And look at the up and down you can get on this one. You can put the head all the way up there. The down is not, you can't really get it that much down, let's be honest, it can't really go down that much. But the neck sleeve is very flexible as well. You can kind of meld it however you need to for certain poses. And look at how far you can get the head to turn to the side. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's so good. The head mobility on this one completely blew me away when I got it in person, and the soft neck piece really helps a lot with that. Now, I am happy that he's moving away from these neck sleeves in general with the newer theropods like the Allosaurus and the Carnotaurus that are coming out for Cyberzoic, but for having to commit to them for the rest of the Tyrannosaur series, I think he did a really good job engineering them to make them work for the time being. And this Lythronax is an example of that. The rest of the articulation is great. The mouth actually seals very nicely on this one, like basically perfectly, as you can see there, even with that little fang kind of in there. It sticks out a little bit, but it's not too bad. And then of course you can open the jaw and see all of the wonderful toofies on the inside. Of course, you saw the range of motion on the neck, wonderful. The midsection has some great side to side and some great up and down as well, actually. Really great torso mobility. The arms also are great. Just make sure not to yank on them too hard because they are pretty small parts. I like putting mine into just like a general resting pose anyway. And then the tail has 3 segments. So there's the big base segment and the mid segment, and then the wire-framed end of the tail, which you can pose however you see fit, like you can see there. That piece that makes up the end of the tail with the wireframe in it, though, is a particularly softer plastic than normal. As you can see, it just kind of falls right off. It doesn't fall off, but you can pull it off very easily. It's really soft. It almost feels like it might last longer because of how easier it is to manipulate the material, but just be aware of that this does come off fairly easily, but it's very easy to attach back on as well, so it's not a big deal in my book. Man, I'm just looking at this thing and I think it's just gonna start screaming Evanescence lyrics into my ear. Wake me up inside, wake me up inside. Also, quick interjection, guys, but the review for this Lythronax model was requested and voted for on my Discord server. Link is down below. You can join my Discord server, and if you want to get English, I can't English! If you want a chance to vote for upcoming reviews, like for this guy that I have, then join my Discord server, and I do polls occasionally for stuff like this, so you have a chance to interact with my future content more. But anyway, as far as articulation with the legs go, of course you've got like the forward and back at the hips. The actual hips are pretty stiff on it, and which is a good thing, and they sort of lock into several positions so you can actually balance this thing. And of course, this one does come with a pair of standing legs with peg holes in the bottom of the feet, and a pair of articulated legs with no peg holes in the bottom of the feet. I don't know why the articulated legs don't have peg holes in the bottom of the feet. It would be so much easier also if the base, which we'll talk about in a second, had 2 pegs on it, like the Chiantosaurus, which is one that I'm going to be reviewing coming up soon. So you could actually like have one standing leg and one articulated leg that could both be pegged into place. Would be so much better. It's just weird that the bigger the figures get, the less options we have for actually displaying them, to be honest. But you can make it work with these guys because they're not massive, as you can see, and they're not incredibly heavy either, which is a very good thing. This one also comes with a bunch of extra feet, so you have like curled toes, and you have like splayed toes, which is the ones I have equipped here, and you have some sort of retracted toes that are like they're doing that instead of that. I can't do Spock. Can I do Spock? Oh my gosh, I'm kind of doing Spock. Guys, I'm kind of doing Spock. I could never do this before. What is this newfound power? But anyway, I think you guys get the gist of this figure. It is absolutely lovely. This is one that I wasn't expecting on picking up, but it turned out to be one of my favorite Tyrannosaurs that I own currently, being someone who owns a lot of Wave 1 and Wave 2. So I'm very happy that I got this one. And also, just off camera, it's standing, like, just like this. I'll put up footage, but it's got one articulated leg and one standing leg, and it's standing just on its own. That's crazy. Don't do that long term, but it's cool that you can balance it like that for photography and stuff. Anyway, the base, same base as the Utyrannus. You heard my thoughts in my Utyrannus review. Kind of weird you have this detachable rock on the side that doesn't really block all of it, and I wish that the peg was a little more offset from the center. Could have been better. Display rod would have been better for this thing than just a base with a single peg in it, because my Utyrannus isn't holding up too well on that thing. I'm going to have to take it off of its base and sort of finagle something with a stand, but I do like the paint on it. Very arid, some like mossy stuff on it, but you know, pretty cool for what it is. But in case you're wondering how big this Lythronax is, from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, it is about 15 inches long on average, and in a general horizontal pose, it's looking like it's about 7 feet tall, 7 to 8 7 feet tall? Oh gosh, no. 7 inches tall, about 7 to 8 inches tall. I feel like I'm on an episode of Mountain Monsters, measuring like every cryptid. Getting down with Mountain Man left.
What the hell I do without my eyes?
Take a sip. And for comparison, I'm bringing out the BOTM Diabloceratops and of course Dang's fish for comparison. These two creatures coexisted with each other, and these two make an absolutely great edgy pairing on the shelf. I love both of them so much. But that's gonna do it for this review of the Beasts of the Mesozoic Lythronax Argestes, guys. I really like this one. I highly recommend it as somebody who thought that it was one of my lesser favorites of the series initially. It is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous theropod figure. I mean, just look at that thing in my viewfinder. The patterns are so darn rad. I love it. A big thank you to all of my YouTube members, and a very special thank you to my first ever SpinoChad member on the channel, to Raphael Tree Kangaroo, for being the coolest tree kangaroo there is on the planet. That's objective because he is a SpinoChad. Thank you so much for your support, and if you guys want to join memberships, then click the big join button next to my name down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in my next video. So take care, and bye-bye!